going to go through this principles. There are
Mm-hmm.
7 principles which is defined, uh, and we are going to understand what what all those 7 principles are. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming that you get a chance to go through these pointers.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with the first one. So this is something where directly or indirectly questions are there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
From testing principles. So first point is testing shows presence of defect. What exactly this means? This means that let's go point by point. So it is written here that testing can show that defects are present but cannot prove that there are no defects. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
testing reduces the probability of uncovered defect remaining in the software, but even if no defects are found, it is not a proof of correctness. So this is a first principle where it's what it is saying, that testing, what is the job of testing? So
Mm-hmm.
basically the job of testing is to show presence of defects. Okay. If
Right.
there is any defect present, you will be able to showcase those, identify those, or maybe fix those with the help of this process, that is a testing process. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are not able to find any defects in the software, you cannot say that it is a proof of correctness. So software testing never say that it is 100% bug free software. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is something which is actually a myth. You cannot give a statement that this is 100% bug free, 100% well tested. And uh, uh, we second point I can say in this way, that if you are not able to find bug, you cannot say that this is a proof of correctness. Okay. There
Right.
might be issues which will be there which you are not able to find, which is hidden issues or hidden bugs. Okay. So sometimes someone asks that is 100% testing possible? So the answer will be probably no. 100%
Mm-hmm.
testing is not possible. What we do a risk based and coverage based testing. If you're not
Yes.
able to find any issues, you cannot conclude that there is no bugs, no issues present in this software. This is what
Mm-hmm.
exactly this means. Okay. This
Mm-hmm.
is what first principle states. Okay.
Yes.
Moving to the so you have any queries here for the first principle?
No, no, I understand this.
Okay. Then we'll move to the next point, that is uh, principle number 2, which means exhaustive testing is impossible. So
Mm-hmm.
exhaustive is something where we can say 100%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Testing, so means testing everything, each and every corners, each and every nooks, uh, is impossible. Okay, this is
Right.
fact. So you cannot do 100% testing except in some trivial cases. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, then if suppose exhaustive testing is not possible, then how you can ensure, okay, that your testing is properly done, you are done with all, you have verified all the scenarios? So in that case we have to go with a risk based or priority based or probably scenario based testing, where we
Right.
need to cover all those scenarios which actually uh, customers or requirements in the requirement cities. So on the
Mm-hmm.
basis of those requirements or customer expectations, we need to derive all those scenarios and and accordingly we have to verify that software. Okay.
Right.
This is the second point, which is called as exhaustive testing is impossible. Moving to the third point. So what it
Mm-hmm.
means? It starts as early testing. What exactly early testing means? So I would like to understand from you, if you can just give some idea what exactly early testing you understand from this.
Yeah, the early testing in the sense usually in any project they keep the testing towards the end. So yeah, that is not really ideal. So the earlier the testers know about the requirements and get an understanding, they can plan better. And earlier on in the project, like the earlier we find the bugs, there is a chance that it will be fixed, and then you can have a better regression and all of that. But if you start really late towards the, like, 6 weeks before go live or something like that, then yeah, that is not an ideal situation.
Yeah. So what will the impact if we are, if you are starting your testing later? What will be the impact?
It will be that definitely exhaustive testing is not possible, but it could be that we're only testing just the high priority businesses or areas. The other impact could be that you're only testing like the the happy path in the test case. You're not looking at any negative testing or any sort of alternate or any scenarios which is rare but does happen, but you can just test the happy path and make sure it's all working. Whereas if you start testing early on, you can have a more exhaustive testing.
Yeah. And what is the impact on the business if you were starting
Yeah,
early
so
testing?
definitely the business will be then at the risk, which we need to let them aware that this is just the scenarios that we have tested. Anything outside of this, we cannot, confirm that bugs are not there, or you can't. Yeah, or if there is a Sev1 or something bug that comes up, then the impact could be that they are not going live on the planned date.
Correct. Yes, and you rightly said that you are not able to, release it or launch it on a
Mm-hmm.
date which you have
Yes.
decided. So you probably
Yes.
delay with your plan.
Mm-hmm.
Second risk will be uh, the cost of fixing those bugs will be really
Oh,
high.
yes. Mm-hmm.
If you are finding it late, then the
Mm-hmm.
cost will be really high. If I'll take an example, let's take again an example from a normal life or probably out
Mm-hmm.
of the software testing. So suppose
Right.
you bought a plot. Okay, you're a customer, you bought a plot and you are planning to build a good bungalows in that plot, and you
Mm-hmm.
came there, you hired a probably architect and then
Mm-hmm.
a consultant to build your house or a bungalow. Then they start designing that here your kitchen will be, here your living room will be, this area will be a kind of play area, and this will be a bedroom. They decided something, you said okay, looks perfect, and then you go on vacation. You're coming back, I think probably 2 or 3 months after that, and when you just start verifying that, you are thinking that, oh, this kitchen where it is built up is not looking so cool. I think this must be somewhere in the east side and not on
Right.
the north side. But
Mm-hmm.
when you are start verifying that, not at the early stage in the designing phase, you just looked
Right.
it, you start looking into it when it is half built or probably about to finish. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so now you want to change this. What will be cost? It will be really high. Okay,
Right.
because now your material will be destroyed here. You have to use reuse of the material, manpower, again you have to give a double pay for that. So the cost of fixing this issue or a new requirement which you are telling now will be of course high. Okay, but
Right.
if you probably tested this initially earlier when it
Mm-hmm.
was only on paper, then you probably save a lots of money here. Okay, as well as the timeline, because now the timeline will again impact, and you probably plan to give this probably or launch this, or you inaugurate this building, or you want to shift on in this building probably on your son's birthday. Now you're not able
Mm.
to do that. Again, this is an
True.
impact. So that is the reason early testing is required. So this justifies that you need to do always your testing or your testing activities as early as possible. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so as soon as you have requirement, you need to start your thought process, building your thought process. What are the different scenarios you are going to verify? What are the different tools you are going to use to test that? What are the different environment on you are going to test? What are the different types of testing you are going to perform? You need to look each and every points of the requirement initially, and if you found any doubts or maybe probably any glitch or bugs, you need to rectify it at a very early stage. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that saves money as well as time.
Right.
Okay, clear.
Then,
Okay, moving to the next point then, that is principle 4. Okay, so what
mm-hmm.
principle 4 says? That defect clustering. So what exactly cluster is? Cluster means,
Like a group of.
yeah, it's a group. Defects group. Okay, so
Yes.
what exactly study says? Normally theory says that most of the issues, when I say issues, means that is a bug. Okay, or errors,
Mm-hmm.
mainly the issues, errors, bugs will tend to cluster at a particular set of modules somewhere in a module. Okay, where
Right.
where there is a complex logic. Any module where there is a complex logic, there are high possibilities of lots of bugs you will be able to find from that particular area. So
Mm-hmm.
bugs will be there in a cluster. Okay,
Right.
so if as a tester, what is our job? To find all those issues. Okay, so
Yes.
if we smartly able to identify those
Mm-hmm.
area where there are chances of high density of bug, then it will be easy to find all those bugs, and our efforts will be again properly managed. Okay,
Right.
so this is what defect clustering says. But while identifying and verifying those area, we also have to focus on the remaining areas. We do not have to, uh, I can say, ignore or not test the other remaining modules. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to, of course, focus on the areas where defects are tend to cluster, but parallelly we need to test the other areas. This is what defect clustering says. Okay, then the
Yes.
question arises how you will find what are the complex area. Okay, what are the how we will understand that bugs will be more in this particular area. So this
Right.
actually comes from the product knowledge, from
Mm-hmm.
experience, and slight technical knowledge. Suppose if I'll take any example of e-commerce applications. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so in e-commerce application, what you do, you have to add multiple products in the cart, and then you can place an order via different methods. So
Right.
this cart is a module where lots of calculation is going on, along with a
Mm-hmm.
promo codes if there is any offer, different taxes, and suppose different multiple calculations based on the number of items you are adding. Okay, so this
Yes.
module you can consider as a complex module. So chances will
Mm-hmm.
be there that there will be a logical, you will be able to find more logical bugs from this particular module. So this is how you
Yes.
need to understand what are the areas where you need to focus more while testing in your application. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this is what defect clustering is. Now the fifth principle is pesticide paradox. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so normally what we do, we write test cases and then we
Yes.
start executing those test cases. I'm assuming that you are aware with the test cases writing. Okay,
Yes.
okay, so suppose you have 10 test cases to verify a functionality. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now you started executing those test cases. While executing those test cases on a first execution, first cycle, you found probably five bugs, and your
Right.
five test cases got failed, five test
Mm-hmm.
cases got passed. Now you
Right.
ask developer to fix those five bugs. They fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you again rerun those 10 test cases. This
Mm-hmm.
time your bugs were fixed and you are able to find two more bugs. One was reopened and one new bugs introduced. Okay,
Mm.
you
Yes.
again log those bug, reopen bug, and one new bug, then developers again fix. You again
Mm-hmm.
rerun those 10 test cases. Okay, and at
Right.
this time you are no longer able to find any new bugs from those 10 test cases. Okay, why?
Mm.
Because every time you did a same, you execute the same test again and again.
Right.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if you are doing a same thing again and again, kind of a regression, at any point of time there will be a chance or there will be a moment came where you will not able to find any further new bugs from those tests. Okay, so
Right.
what exactly principle says that every time you need to update and review or maybe add a new test cases in your suite, in your test
Mm-hmm.
suite, to find more and more bugs. Okay,
Right.
so this is what pesticide paradox says. Okay, so this is
Mm-hmm.
written here that if a same test is repeated again over and over again, eventually the same set of test cases will no longer find a new defect. To overcome this, your test cases needs to be regularly reviewed and revised. Okay, so for
Yes.
that you need to use different techniques to update your test cases. Okay, this will make your product more, I can say, solid in terms of quality. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now, sixth principle is testing is context dependent. Okay, so what
Mm-hmm.
exactly this means? This means that you cannot apply same testing everywhere. Let's take an example.
Right.
Suppose you
Mm-hmm.
have an application called as banking application and second application as a social media application. Let's take an example, probably Instagram. Okay, so
Right.
when suppose you are using a social application that is an Instagram where I met you and we had a good coffee together. Now you want me to add there. Okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
connect to Instagram, and then what you did, uh, uh, you asked me to give your email ID. Okay, I have given you an email ID. As soon as you open Instagram, they ask probably your fingerprint. Okay, first level
Right.
verification. You said okay. You
Mm-hmm.
had given your fingerprint. You get inside, and now you have entered my email ID to find me. And now again Instagram is asking, okay, which location? Now you have
Mm.
given, okay, this so and so location, then they are asking, okay, what's his last name? You have given this, and then again it is asking, okay, give me a pin code, then you will be able to send a request. Okay.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
whether you will be able to use this type of application for a social media to connect to some person, no,
No.
you will not use this type of application. But let's take this as as a banking application. So I ask you to send me some money. Okay, you said okay. Wait for a while. You open an ABC banking application. It asks you give us your fingerprint. Then
Right.
it give you a fingerprint, and then you have probably added a beneficiary. At that time, it asks to ask you to give a pin code. You have entered
Mm.
some pin, then it generates an OTP. It's again asked you to validate. Then you,
Right.
after adding, as soon as you enter the amount, then it send probably any security code to your registered mobile number, or maybe your email ID. You entered that. So this n number of securities are there, but still it's okay for you to go with that. Why? Because here it's a matter of money, right?
Right.
So here you are okay to do this type of implementation in testing, but
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to social media, where you want to connect to a social peoples and the different handles, you just want
Mm-hmm.
a single click to be added somewhere with anyone,
Yes.
and you just want to give an update to entire world in a single click, that I'm having coffee here together with my friend, and so I'm happy, I'm feeling blessed, XYZ. Okay. But you
Mm-hmm.
never want that much securities or that much stages to be there in any application where it is not concerned. Okay. So
Right.
these two applications are of different businesses, okay, different
Mm-hmm.
context. So testing is similarly done as per the context of that application. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
apply
Yes.
same testing across the board. So testing is done differently in different contexts. Same
Mm.
tests should not be applied everywhere. So suppose if
Right.
you have any application which is a banking application, you need to focus more on security test, okay,
Mm-hmm.
data privacy. And when it comes to e-commerce, you need to more focus on UI and UX and how easily
Mm-hmm.
you can connect to the people. This is
Yes.
about testing is a context dependent, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the last point is absence of error fallacy. So what it means? This means that if your test is not able to find any errors, means if there is no errors, is a different than concluding that the software is error free. Means if you're not able to find any errors, you cannot conclude. It's differently. It's a different statement than concluding it that your software is error free. This is what absence of error fallacy means. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
this is all about the seven principles which we have, and this is something somewhere asked in a different way into
Mm-hmm.
interviews as well as in different ISTQB questions. Okay.
Okay.
If you have any questions, feel free to let me
No, it's quite clear.
know. Okay. Fine. So what exactly you have to do? You have to just give a revision for this. If you have any doubt, you can again ask in the next session.